Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I wanted to come on live before I play the video for you guys. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. I'm going to give a couple shout outs before we get the video going. So this is like a 5-part series. There's a lot more to come. So Punch, what's going on, man? Flip, how are you? Richard, Rob, what's going on? Dave, Ronan, Maureen, how are you? Bruno. So I got a really good video for you guys. He's going to talk about the Colombo War and all this other stuff. So let's get into the video. I've been doing interviews all day, and you guys are going to love these stories that these people told me. Insane. I want to give a shout out to Pedge Tattoos. Thank you for the interview. And a lot of great things. Mike Marino, thank you for the interview. I got some really incredible stories to share with you guys. So without any further ado, let's get to the video. Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we got Larry Mazza.
So that happened. So now I went to see Vic Arena. Everybody knew, there were certain guys, like I never got around Billy and his crew. Those were the two fighting crews, I guess. But I get on the floor with Vic, and we're getting along real well. He even told me he was sorry for what happened. He says he feels responsible. But he did say this too. But I wish you guys were on my side. He said that to me. Yeah. So you know what I told him? Here's my answer. It's in my book. I says, Vic, I was with Greg. Wherever Greg went, I went. He stayed with Junior. So you guys were enemies. I said, if he would have came with you, there'd be a lot of dead person goes today. I told him that because it's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. Greg stood there. That's where and he understood. He said, well, I'm glad. Let's do what we can. The one thing I lost respect for Vic, he was paying for the telephones. You're a boss. You think John Gotti would pay for a fucking telephone?
No.
It was terrible. He was actually paying. And I went on the phone. It's funny. You got to picture me on the phone again. And that's where I gotten I think that was the first beef I had in prison. Because these same Latin guys, Latin Kings, whoever they were going to try to charge me now too. And I wouldn't. So a bad riot erupted. And I still got a little scar in the back of my head from this pool stick. But we got the guy back with pool balls, so we did better than they did. We had the balls there.
That's insane that they would even let that type of stuff in there when the
they had pool tables, so they closed the thing down. They closed it down. They closed the whole building for the whole weekend, canceled visits, and I was in the newspaper. But now a few days goes by, and it comes out in the newspaper. This trip Greg took to Rikers Island is because they can't do anything about the medication anymore, and he's going to die. So he's got to go get sentenced. He goes in front of, but before this happens, they come to me, Vic Arena, Mike again, my childhood friend, and Frankie Lastarino, one of the top 3 positions in the Lucchese family. I forget what he's on the boss or council. Yeah, I don't remember. But they come and Vic tells me, he says, Larry, is there you've heard anything about Greg? We're hearing he's a rat. I went after him. I said, you're going to start again? Like you tried that on Junior. Everybody's a rat. It's like in politics today. If you don't agree, you're a racist. Just throw something at you. So everybody's a rat all of a sudden. So, but Mike got in the way and said, no, just listen. We don't know for sure, but we're hearing things. So now I take my cot and I go to the other side. I can't stay near him anymore. Now I lost respect for him again. A day or so later, if that long, I think it was a day, they got the newspaper. Greg is in front of the judge admitting and begging for leniency because of all the help he's done, all the things I did for this government, all the help I gave you. He's admitting it open. So now there's nothing I can say. But again, who's playing mind games? Now they move me off that floor. They bring me down to the floor back where I started a month and a half ago. I'm back with Alley Boy, Bobby Zam, my friends. And we're talking about this, how it could be possible. And, you know, some people say, nah, we should have seen it. And yeah, you could always say that afterwards. You know, you could
Yeah,
say
but
that.
if you would have said anything, he probably
No.
would have killed
Of course,
them
of
just
course,
like he killed the
of
other
course.
people.
Without a doubt. So, Alley Boy, we're talking about it. And he tells me him and his father knew about Greg for 20 years. He was bad for 30. So something happened that they knew. And, you know, if we get back together again, I'll get into the details of that, what happened that they knew. But they knew. So now I'm saying to myself, if they knew, who else knew? Did Scappy know? Did the rest of it, were they just using him? You know, and I'm saying to myself, all the lives that got ruined, he should have been killed. He should have been.
Was it known that he went down south to help the government with the Ku Klux Klan members?
No, that came out later. That came out. That wasn't it. It was over a tax case. And I will tell you, just remember that. Make a note of it. We'll talk about that because it's very interesting. So then I still don't flip because there's a few reasons. I mean, basically, if he wasn't bad, I would never flip because he would kill my whole family. He'd have somebody out there just annihilate everything I care for. He'd wreck my car. He'd beat up my cat. He'd kill everybody I know.
With him gone, it's different, right?
But with him coming out of him that he's bad, that takes a lot away from me. It really does. I don't care what anybody says. If your mentor, if your boss, who taught you everything, you know. But the thing is, I feared him, so I knew what he would do to my family. So I'm not going to cooperate in any way, shape, or form. I'm not going to.
But
even
some of the other people probably think that you knew.
Well, they do. They do. That's why they kept approaching me on it. They approached me even after that. But now, not only that, the next day, I'm still fighting the case. Alley Boy's got to go down to see his attorney. And he leaves me with paperwork. We shared everything we wanted to, you know, we had nothing to hide. He accidentally left a closing argument that he wrote for his attorney that blames Greg and his guys for the whole war. Now, the jury already knows the story that it's Greg and his guys, me and Jimmy, and some others. But basically, we're the ones sitting there right now. And now really, my head's spinning. They all knew about him. They're going to sell me out. It becomes easy. It becomes a business decision. I wasn't born to fucking tell on people. But you know what? You backed me into this. And you allowed him to live. And his own son says, and his son never flipped. His son is still a captain if he wanted to be, but he's not going back.
How does his son feel about him today?
Well, you know, he said, that was your first question, so I'm going to answer it for both of us. When I first spoke to him, he said to me, he says, "La, he had us all fooled," you know? And I hated him for a while. I hated him. I hated that he was a fraud, that he, as tough as he was, when you got the badge, it helps a lot. I don't care who you are. Makes it easier, okay? And you know, but I got to take responsibility for myself too. So I can't just blame him for ruining my life. I allowed myself to get sucked in. And but as the years are going on, what I say is he's the smartest gangster ever to play both sides the way he did, to be able to make all the money he made, to have the family know he was bad, but still enable him because he killed for them. He made them a fortune, but it just pulls the whole cover off this thing and shows what a whole fraud life it is. Okay. It's what's good for me is, you know, what's good for the goose or gander.
Good
all
for
those
the gander,
sayings,
yeah.
It's not true. And
do as I do,
himself,
don't do as I say. Like
right,
all
Junior
that
himself
stuff,
took the stand, but he acted on as his own lawyer. And he says, he didn't admit it, his lawyer did, but he was his lawyer. My lawyer said I was a good fella, but not the boss. He was trying to get out in 100 years. Any one of us do those things, we're dead. Yeah. So all of this comes, all these guys in the street now that want to say something, like they know who they are. They know who they are. Where were you when the war was going on? Where were you hiding out? Now, because the shit is surfacing and you got a position, you want to say I was no good, or I'm weak, or I was never a friend. Can't say that.
Bottom line, you were there, and
exactly.
You know, they can't change history.
Yeah,
There's people out there trying to, but they can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, So,
and there's a lot more stuff to get into, man.
Yeah.
But we ran out of time. I really appreciate you taking the time today.
well, yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it, and always good to see you, Billy.
Definitely, man. I appreciate it, and I look forward to the next time. And if you guys like this type of content, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you can get my videos every time they drop. Till next time.
What's good, everybody? I hope you guys liked that interview. Let me go check out some comments. Matthew, what's up? DG, Larry does tell it. Staxx, keep up the great work. Calling out Scammy for what he is, a rat. William Steele, how are you, man? Paul, what's going on? Hey, you see Dumb and Dumber today? See no evil. What's going on? You guys don't want to miss tomorrow morning show. It's going to be a good one. We're in Philly. It's going to be a great show. 11 a.m. Don't miss it. And we're going to hear about how the non-made guys have so much information about the made guys, and they know everything. So we're going to get into that tomorrow. But I appreciate all you guys taking the time to watch this show. I got a lot more on the horizon. I have a whole bunch with Larry that I already recorded. I'm going to be playing those. Probably tomorrow I'll put out another one. So I hope you guys like these. And there's tons on the way. And don't forget, 11 o'clock, we're in Philly. Featuring Chief Suckums. And Rambo. We're going to go over his little beef with Scammy the Bull. Hit the like button, subscribe. I appreciate all you guys, and I'll see you guys later. I got some things to do. And if you don't like this podcast, too fucking bad. Start your own. And remember, don't be a bitch.